Alright, what's going on? How's it going, everyone? I hope you're having fun, I hope you're enjoying the game, and I hope you've been testing out some of those decks that we've been looking at, because now we're going to look at some of the Pool 1 decks that are a little bit harder to put together, but they're fantastic. These are some of the decks that I've had the most fun playing when I've played in Pool 1. When I hit Infinite for the first time, I was still in Pool 1, and for the majority of the climb, right up into the last, 20 level push, I was playing Devil Dino. Devil Dino was a bit of a harder one to get the cards for, but we're going to have a look at it. It all revolves around a 5-cost card, not a 6-cost card, which is Devil Dinosaur. Ongoing, plus 2 power for each card in your hand. Now, we've got a couple of different ways of keeping our hand full, so we're going to have a look at those, but generally in the Pool 1 Devil Dino build, there's a lot of good stuff, and then a few cards that are going to keep your hand full. So first of all, Ant-Man, just general good card. We talked about it in the Spectrum deck, ongoing, plus 3 power if you have a full location. But this is where it gets a bit spicy. So we got Mantis. If your opponent played a card here, draw a card from their deck. So it's a 1-for-1 and you're drawing a card from your opponent's deck. So you're taking away resources from them. Maybe you're going to get a key card off of them. That's going to keep your hand full. But it's only if your opponent played a card there this turn. That's the trade-off for Mantis. So good predicting skills is going to get you free cards off Mantis. We always say Nightcrawler is basically in every Pool 1 deck. He's just generally good, especially in combination with Angela, which is another fantastic card in Pool 1. But then we get to more spice. So Cable. On reveal, put the bottom card of your opponent's deck into your hand. So instead of like Mantis drawing from the top, we're drawing from the bottom of their deck. Again, maybe we're going to get some spice from them, but 1-for-1, we're keeping our hand full. Scarlet Witch is going to turn off annoying locations for us. The specific one that we don't care for is Isle of Silence in this deck, because Devil Dinosaur isn't ongoing. So if we can turn off an Isle of Silence, beautiful, that's what Scarlet Witch is here for. Sentinel, one of the starter cards that you get when you first get the game, but he is used in this deck because he's going to trade himself 1-for-1. Every time you play him, you're putting another one in your hand. So you're always going to have something to play, but you're always going to have a card in your hand. Now, Moon Girl is going to duplicate your hand, and we're going to talk about Moon Girl a bit more after we finish discussing all this, but keep an eye on that, duplicating your hand. White Queen, copy the highest cost card in your opponent's hand into your hand, so you're going to get their boss monsters usually, but it's also just 1-for-1. We don't really care about what we're taking. It's about we're getting a 4-cost 6 power on the board, and we're keeping our hand full at the same time. Iron Man's just here as a backup boss, and we'll talk about Moon Girl stuff in a bit, but yeah, we already know Iron Man is a starter card. Your total power is doubled at this location. Then we got Devil Dino, plus 2 card, plus 2 power for each card in your hand. He's a beast. He's going to win lanes all by himself if you can keep your hand full. And then this interesting one, America Chavez, starts on the bottom of your deck and you draw it on turn 6. So you're guaranteed America Chavez on turn 6. But the big reason she's important is because there's only 12 cards in the deck. I think you only draw 8 of them, something like that, 7 or 8 of them. You start with 3, you draw 1, about 7 or 8 of them. So unless a location's making you draw more, she's just lowering the chance of you drawing the wrong cards, like increasing the odds of you drawing any of these right up until turn 6. Obviously on turn 6 you're guaranteed to get her, so if you haven't got everything you want by turn 6, then unlucky. But the reason that's important is because we're trying to duplicate our best cards with Moon Girl, right? So you can only have 7 cards max in your hand in this game. If you've got, say, 4 cards in your hand, Moon Girl will duplicate the first 3. Why is that important, you might be asking? Well, let's say you drew Devil Dino right at the beginning. You've been keeping your hand full. You've got 5 cards in your hand. Moon Girl's only going to be able to copy 2 of them. As long as Devil Dino is the card furthest on the left, or one of the 2 furthest on the left, you know that you're duplicating Devil Dino. At best, Devil Dino or Iron Man we want 2 of because we can play them on turn 5 and turn 6 and they win lanes by themselves. So that's what we're thinking about. You only need to win 2 locations in this game. Both of these cards can win a location alone. So let's try to maximize that, right? If we can get 2 of them, beautiful. Now, it's no stress if you don't get both of them off a Moon Girl, because if you do end up just drawing Iron Man and Devil Dino, cool, we can play 1 on each location and just win. But if Moon Girl can duplicate one of them, if we haven't drawn both of them, and we can have 2 Iron Man or we can have 2 Devil Dinos, then we know what we're playing towards. And that's all going to happen on turn 4 if we have Moon Girl. Now, if we don't, like I said, we've got backup plans. Chavez is a powerful 9 cost. You know you're going to draw her on turn 6. You got Devil Dino, you got Iron Man, any of those cards, we're fine. And in combination with the rest of the cards, especially depending what we pull off of Mantis and Cable, we're gaming, absolutely gaming. So, beautiful. We've discussed the logistics of the deck. I hope it makes sense. We're obviously going to play out 3 games and see what happens. But let's have a look. Alternatives. Now, the hard part with Devil Dino, you can't play the deck without Devil Dino. So if you haven't got him, look at the Spectrum, look at the On Reveal. Play one of those decks until you've got him. But when you do, it's just, what else can we put in the deck? Now, Moon Girl, obviously, it's hard to replace Moon Girl. I'm thinking like, oh, if you don't have Mantis, and yeah, you can go Electro, you can go Rocket Raccoon, that's fine. And then we've put Spectrum here. I thought, you know what, if you don't have all of the cards to make Devil Dino, you can just put Devil Dino into a Spectrum deck. He is an ongoing card. There's no harm in putting Devil Dino into your Spectrum deck, maybe replacing Onslaught with him. And obviously Spectrum's going to buff him. The only problem is he's not going to be as strong as if you've got cards that are putting more cards in. So you can do some sort of weird hybrid until you've got everything you need. But it's pretty hard to think of alternatives this early on in the game. Like if we were talking about pool 2, I'd say, oh, well, you just make it sort of like this. You should have all these cards. But in pool 1, it's kind of hard. So we are trying to get towards all that. And obviously, Devil Dino is one of those decks that you can have a ton of improvements and changes with it. So we're looking at things like Agent 13 replacing Mantis. It's guaranteed you're adding a random card to your hand. Maria Hill adds a random 1 or 2 cost card to your hand. Coulson adds a random 4 or 5 cost card to your hand. And then Nick Fury adds 3 random 6 cost cards to your hand. So they've all got a lot of synergy in keeping your hand ridiculously full. Quinjet, if you have cards in your hand that didn't start in your deck, so you've added them off of things like Cable and Maria Hill and Coulson, they're all costing 1 less. How fantastic is that? So you're getting discounts on it as well. So all those cards sort of synergize in there. We've got Collector. When a card enters your hand from anywhere, you're +1 power. You can see with all of these cards that are adding cards to your hand, you're getting to drop them with a discount on Quinjet. Collector's going to get pretty big. Mystique's a fun one because she copies the last ongoing card that you played. So we looked at her in the On Reveal deck just very briefly when we talked about her copying Wong. But in this instance, you can use Mystique to copy Iron Man or Devil Dino. So that's pretty cool as well. Taskmaster copies the power of the last card you played. So if you played Devil Dino, you can play Taskmaster in a different lane and copy the power of your Devil Dino. Also, Ansem Zola destroys a random friendly card there and adds copies of it to other locations. So instead of duplicating your Devil Dino with Moon Girl, you can drop Devil Dino in a location by himself, drop Ansem Zola. He's going to destroy your Devil Dino and then play him in 2 different locations. So those are different interesting things. Now you probably also noticed, and I skipped over them, Korg and Rock Slide. Now the reason for that is because recently the popular deck to play Devil Dino in is a combination of Devil Dino and Devil Dark Hawk. Now unfortunately I don't have that specific card. I should be able to still show him though. There he is. Dark Hawk. He gets +2 power for each card in your opponent's deck and he's a 4-cost card. So you play things like Korg and Rock Slide to shuffle rocks into your opponent's deck. That makes Dark Hawk bigger and stronger. And then while Dark Hawk's really strong, you drop Devil Dino as well. Now you've got this really two really powerful cards. So that's what's fun about this deck. There's a lot of different ways you can play, a lot of different ways you can build it. It all starts in Pool 1. It's probably one of the strongest decks in Pool 1 if you ask me. The only one stronger is the one I will show you in the last video for new Pool 1 players. But we're going to go jump into the games, make sure that I've actually put it on Devil Dino. And let's get to gaming. Absolutely gaming. Really excited to see how this goes. You know, it's been really interesting playing some of the other ones. Spectrum did really well with a 2-1 record, better than the On Reveal, which was 1-2. And I felt like the games were a lot more solid. We won a lot more cubes from the Spectrum deck. We got Crimson Cosmos. This is where Nightcrawler can be really fun because Nightcrawler can sneak in there, even though it says that he can't be played there. He can move there. I'm seeing Misty Knight come down. We're going to play Cable next turn. That's just going to fill our hand up a bit more. cool thing with Luke's Bar, you can still play Nightcrawler in there, but also you can be cheeky and play cards like Cable. And now I can draw from my opponent's deck. Oh, a blue marble, I'll take that. Yum, 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 yum. And now we can play Cable in there again. So what's that going to put us on? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maybe we don't want to play Cable there right now. What other options do we have? We can just Sentinel down into the vault. How many cards do they have left in the deck? 5 cards left in the deck. And they're going for a pretty strong board here. Alright. This might be where we do some spicy stuff. We can't play Angela there. But we can play Scarlet Witch. Well, that doesn't get us anywhere. I kind of want to do Scarlet Witch as like a surprise. Play White Queen there. And then we'll play Iron Man for the last turn. Oh, Dr. Doom. That's really nice, actually. Yeah, so we'll play Iron Man here. That's actually really nice. I've got a good idea for that. We've taken their Dr. Doom. Now, they've got a Dr. Doom as well. So what we can G up for here is a beautiful... It's not quite a tie. Ooh. Okay. Oh, that was silly. Oh, well, they can't. They can't play the Crimson Cosmos. Alright. So, chances are that's a 4-power Mysterio. So what we're looking for here is to win. Now, they're going to play Dr. Doom here. There's no doubt about it. We play Dr. Doom. They're going to win this location by 1 power. We should be able to tie here. Because their Dr. Doom will put a 4. I've got... so they'll both be 6. But we should be winning the vault enough that we win the tiebreaker. They win by 1 power here, but we win by a ton here, and it ties up. I feel pretty confident. I'm actually going to snap. I feel pretty confident with this. White Queen copied the Dr. Doom, so we know that they've got Dr. Doom in their hand. Yep. Yep. So they'll win this location by 1, but we're winning by 10, so we win in the tiebreaker. Victory. Yep. Yep. Fantastic, fantastic. I was very confident with that one. That was a bit of a weird game because it didn't even use the Devil Dino, but it does show you that the deck, because you're playing so many cards that add cards to your hand, you could sort of mess around with how we play it. Like, we had options with the Captain... Captain Marvel, I think. No. Blue Marvel. The Blue Marvel we got as well. We had options there as well, but as soon as I saw... I knew we're in for some fuckery, but... We got there. That's the cool thing with this deck. I really like decks where you can toolbox with different cards that you're given to adjust your strategy, and that came in really important there. Iron Man guaranteed us to win on that right lane, so it was just about doing enough that we could win with it. Now, this is a bit more of a spicy one. Grand Central on turn 5 is going to put a random card there. Ongoing effects are disabled there. We want to keep an eye on that. That's one of the ones I said that's going to be annoying. Now, we can Moon Girl to copy our Iron Man. We can get 2 Iron Men out, but we got to be smart about it. That's really annoying as well. We need to see Scarlet Witch. We need Scarlet Witch 100%. Oh, how good is that? Exactly what I wanted. Yeah, we're going to Scarlet Witch there, and we're going to play Nightcrawler there. Going into turn 4. Oh, we're going to be able to duplicate 2 of them. Hopefully, I'm just going to play Cable there just because this could get annoying. So we're seeing Electro. We could be at risk of seeing Galactus. Now, you notice I didn't play Moon Girl. It's because we had the Dino. So we can play both. Infinite. Interesting. Oh, we get the Moon Girl out. The Chavez.
Opponent snapped.
Yeah, they're probably in a pretty good position. I'm not gonna lie. Oh no, that's only 10. How much can they put there? I don't think they can do too much. What am I scared of? Wong and what? Could put 8 power into there. I should win though, because I'll go to 12. Like, if it's a Doctor Doom, that's only 8 power into Lemuria. Oh, it's a Shang-Chi. Yeah, fair play to you. Damn, true. If I had a drop to the second Lockjaw into the right, I still would have lost. I still would have lost from the tiebreaker. No, fair play, fair play. So obviously, when you get up further, obvious counters. I don't even think we covered counters. We might cover that afterwards, but obvious counter in the later ranks is Shang-Chi. Obviously, as you just saw there, because you're playing your Devil Dino on turn 5, it's pretty pretty easy to counter it. Limbo is a fun location for this deck. I remember for a while I was playing Magic in this deck just for the Limbo, just because you can get up to some really naughty shenanigans. Nova Roma will take, because we always want this hand to be full. So we're going to play Angela here. We're going to Nightcrawler in there next turn. Now it's fun because we got the White Queen. We could potentially copy something really good on the next turn. So Nightcrawler there. We're going to move Nightcrawler off the Angela buffs. Probably move him into the left lane. Seeing Thor. Not sure how worried I am about Thor. We won't move him just yet. Be able to duplicate Iron Man and Devil Dino with the Moon Girl, so that's pretty value.
Wind aid my hand.
We're seeing the Storm get played. This might be the time to start moving stuff. I do reveal first, so if they predict a Devil Dino here, we're in a bit of trouble. Sarah. As long as we can keep our hand full, we should win. There's the Chavez. Alright, pretty straightforward game plan here. We go Iron Man. Next turn we just play White Queen, that's it. I probably should have done it the other way around. An Enchantress could be disastrous, actually. I'd already committed, though.
I am Iron Man.
Seeing the Brood. There's the Killmonger. Ah! How much does that get them to? 19. I think I can only be 17 on that lane. Oh, I forgot that they got rid of the Limbo. Oh, gee whiz. I didn't even think about that. The Limbo was gone. I was still playing for 7 turns. That's a complete bot move by me. The Killmonger was good. Alright, yeah, that last game I threw. I completely threw by thinking that it was still Limbo. Absolutely stupid. I've got nothing to say to that other than that was just ridiculousness. Some of you are probably watching going, hey, hang on, you don't have a next turn. You're talking about White Queen next turn. There is no, yeah, no, I blew that one. I blew that one hard. It's a good deck. I think it's a fantastic deck. I did not pilot it well in that last game at all. You could argue that I didn't pilot it well at all, but I do like how much options the deck gives you with what you can take from your opponent. That game we won was purely just being able to toolbox different cards. Alright, so let's talk about the counters, because I didn't really go through that. You heard me discuss Enchantress. That's your biggest issue, is going to be the Enchantress. Remove the abilities of all ongoing cards at this location. Because you're playing Devil Dino or Iron Man on turn 5, their turn 6 could just be an Enchantress. And if you weren't already winning lanes, you're struggling. The other alternative as well, of course, is Cosmo. And it seems weird because, hang on, well, Enchantress countered the Spectrum decks, Cosmo countered the on reveal decks. How are they both countering this one deck? Well, that's because a lot of your adding cards to your hand is going to be on reveal. And depending how locations pan out, you might end up getting screwed over by a Cosmo. Especially if they reveal first and they predict you're going to play, say, Cable on something. So you got to be careful with that. Cosmo and Enchantress are going to be a little bit problematic. As you move up, now you did see Killmonger really blew me away on that last game. That's not something that generally you'd be worried about, because these are meant to be our playmakers. I just completely threw. The Rogue as well, as you progress, steal an ongoing ability. They can steal your Devil Dino, they can steal your Iron Man. I've done it to one of them before myself, and it's a lot of fun when you do it, but it's not fun for the person playing it. You can also kind of be a little bit cheeky. This isn't a counter, but this is more something a little bit, you know, you could set your Iron Man to 3. I just saw that. But anyway, is what it is. You just have fun. The deck is fun. The deck is good. It might have looked like I got smacked around a bit, but in Pool 1, you're not going to see all the crazy stuff that I'm seeing up at Infinite Rank. You saw a Sarah Surfer deck just before, utilizing this and Brood and all sorts of different stuff. That's not stuff you're going to see. You're going to be seeing the Spectrums, you're going to be seeing the on-reveals, and you're going to be seeing some Kazoo. You might see some destroy decks, you might see some discard decks, but honestly, at this pool, there's a reason why I don't have deck lists for them. Move, discard, and destroy, they're not really developed in Pool 1. They don't really start going anywhere until Pool 2 and 3. So I'm not worried about them. You shouldn't be either if you see them. They're just not consistent enough. They don't have enough targets for what they're trying to do. The move decks, and I mean, this might be a bit more of a fun video because we're going to discuss a little bit of this, but the move decks, they're really looking at this. Multiple man. That's all they're really doing in Pool 1. They don't have a lot of move options. They're just all building up towards like maybe a Doctor Strange and then the Heimdall at the end, you know. They're not doing a great deal in Pool 1. Your discard decks, this is their only target, and maybe Wolverine, you know, like it's other than that, they're just discarding nonsense. So, you know, and they've got 3 discard cards, and then nothing to really play with it. So they're kind of weird. They're not very synergistic. They're not getting a lot of value. Most of the time, they're playing Ant-Man into Nightcrawler into Blade, and then it's not doing anything. It's not anything you should be scared of. And then destroy decks only really have the one target to destroy off memory. I think Nova's in Pool 1, and then again Wolverine. I don't think they're doing too much either. They don't have some of their best boss monsters like Death, who costs 1 less for each card destroyed, and Null, who gets the combined power of all cards destroyed this game. They don't have that in Pool 1. They're not really building towards anything. It's just kind of a sloppy mess. So if I were you, I wouldn't be too worried about building them in Pool 1. I wouldn't be too worried about facing them in Pool 1, especially if you're playing with some of these decks like Devil Dino, On Reveal, and Spectrum. And don't forget as well, if you're playing On Reveal and you come up against Devil Dino, you are playing the counter in Enchantress. So you can do that. Sometimes, and this is just a general tip for playing this game, sometimes it's better not to play your 6-cost card if you can stop an enemy with your 4-cost. Playing an Enchantress on turn 6 is shutting down a Devil Dino. Sometimes you just got to do some quick math. Hang on, can I just beat them if I just Enchantress there and then play Medusa in mid? Maybe you can. So these are things that you sort of think about as you're playing and as you get better at the game. Maybe it's better to do it this way. As long as you pay attention to locations and you don't completely throw like I did. But that's what it's all about. So next video is going to be the last video I do for Pool 1 decks, Pool 1 deck guides, what I think are the better Pool 1 decks. And we're going to be looking at this Pool 1 Kazoo deck. And we're going to talk about that because this is the deck I actually hit Infinite with the first time I hit Infinite, which was the very first season I played the game. And it was for this card back here, for the Venom card back. That was the Infinite reward at the time. And this is more or less the exact build that I had, except I didn't have Medusa. I think I had Scarlet Witch. But we're going to talk about that because you can see I've got two different deck lists. And rather than talking about improvements like I have and alternatives like I have, I'm going to show you both the deck lists. And I'm just going to talk about the differences of them. This is what you see a lot of Pool 1 Kazoo deck lists looks like, and they're utilizing Onslaught. I did play that variation, but then there's a different variation with a different strategy. Would you believe it? They almost look identical, but there is a different way to play each one, and I will show you that. So stick around for that video. That should be coming out next. So I'll talk to you then. Have fun and keep on snapping or whatever, you know. Have fun with it. Bye.